What sets AIR2 and AIR3 apart in UPSC CSE 2024? They didn't wait to feel ready. They started smart with the GS Foundation course at Vision IS Delhi. Structured learning, focused current affairs, real mentorship, test feedback that actually helps you grow. This course isn't just about study hours, it's about direction, clarity and the strategy toppers trust. Start strong. Start where toppers started.
UPSC preparation is not just about reading books or watching online lectures. It requires personal guidance, real discussions, and structured practice. This is where offline mentoring makes all the difference. Unlike online learning, where doubts often remain unresolved, offline mentoring offers direct interaction, real-time feedback, and an environment of discipline and competition. One-to-one sessions help students get tailored advice, strategy corrections, and focused improvement. Every aspirant has different strengths and weaknesses. Personal mentoring helps address them effectively. Ground discussions sharpen analytical thinking and help students develop a multi-dimensional perspective on issues crucial for prelims, mains, and interview. Elocution sessions help in personality development, clarity of thought, and confidence, essential for UPSC interviews. Test writing is the most crucial part of UPSC preparation. It helps in time management, structuring answers, and improving content quality. Offline mentoring is not just about teaching, it's about grooming future officers with the right guidance, discipline, and confidence. So if you are preparing for UPSC, make sure you have the right mentor by your side.
Are you still juggling newspapers, random notes, and endless PDFs trying to make sense of current affairs? Let's make your UPSC prep smarter. Introducing Digital Current Affairs Premium by Vision IAS, your all-in-one platform to read, revise, and write better every single day. Have a doubt from today's news or something in your syllabus? Just ask and get instant AI-powered answers that are concise, relevant, and completely aligned with the UPSC exam pattern. No more guesswork, no more confusion. Want to boost your mains writing skills? Practice daily with structured questions and get expert feedback to sharpen your content, clarity, and analysis, because writing well is winning half the battle. Need better revision? Use quick notes and highlights to save key points, mark important lines, and organize your current affairs in a way that actually works for you. And here's the best part, some of the most powerful tools are absolutely free. Daily news summaries from The Hindu, Indian Express, and more, curated, filtered, and exam ready. Downloadable PDFs so your notes stay organized and accessible. Daily quizzes and MCQs to reinforce what you've learned and track your progress. A smart student dashboard to monitor your performance and stay on top of your goals. Whether you're just starting or deep into your prep, Digital Current Affairs Premium adapts to your strategy and makes every minute count. So why prepare the hard way when you can prepare the smart way? Visit www.visionis.in/current-affairs and start transforming your current affairs prep today. Because with Vision IAS, you don't just stay updated, you stay ahead. UPSC CSE 2024 results are out and dreams have turned into ranks. Now you are asking, how do I get there? You've got the drive. What you need is the right guidance. Lakshya Integrated Mentoring Program 2026 by Vision IAS is your one-stop guidance program for prelims, mains, and interview. Smart, strategic revision for prelims and mains. Consistent mentorship with personalized feedback. Daily weekly schedule and practice targets. Custom test practice via Sandhan test series. Interview and personality test training. All of it structured to guide you, strategic to keep you focused, and designed to meet your evolving needs. New batch starts from 19th May. It's your turn now. Start strong with Lakshya Mentoring Program 2026.
What sets AIR2 and AIR3 apart in UPSC CSE 2024? They didn't wait to feel ready. They started smart with the GS Foundation course at Vision IAS Delhi. Structured learning, focused current affairs, real mentorship, test feedback that actually helps you grow. This course isn't just about study hours, it's about direction, clarity, and the strategy toppers trust. Start strong. Start where toppers started.
UPSC preparation is not just about reading books or watching online lectures. It requires personal guidance, real discussions, and structured practice. This is where offline mentoring makes all the difference. Unlike online learning, where doubts often remain unresolved, offline mentoring offers direct interaction, real-time feedback, and an environment of discipline and competition. One-to-one sessions help students get tailored advice, strategy corrections, and focused improvement. Every aspirant has different strengths and weaknesses. Personal mentoring helps address them effectively. Ground discussions sharpen analytical thinking and help students develop a multi-dimensional perspective on issues crucial for prelims, mains, and interview. Elocution sessions help in personality development, clarity of thought, and confidence, essential for UPSC interviews. Test writing is the most crucial part of UPSC preparation. It helps in time management, structuring answers, and improving content quality. Offline mentoring is not just about teaching. It's about grooming future officers with the right guidance, discipline, and confidence. So if you are preparing for UPSC, make sure you have the right mentor by your side.
Are you still juggling newspapers, random notes, and endless PDFs trying to make sense of current affairs? Let's make your UPSC prep smarter. Introducing Digital Current Affairs Premium by Vision IAS, your all-in-one platform to read, revise, and write better every single day. Have a doubt from today's news or something in your syllabus? Just ask and get instant AI-powered answers that are concise, relevant, and completely aligned with the UPSC exam pattern. No more guesswork, no more confusion. Want to boost your mains writing skills? Practice daily with structured questions and get expert feedback to sharpen your content, clarity, and analysis, because writing well is winning half the battle. Need better revision? Use quick notes and highlights to save key points, mark important lines, and organize your current affairs in a way that actually works for you. And here's the best part, some of the most powerful tools are absolutely free. Daily news summaries from The Hindu, Indian Express, and more, curated, filtered, and exam ready. Downloadable PDFs so your notes stay organized and accessible. Daily quizzes and MCQs to reinforce what you've learned and track your progress. A smart student dashboard to monitor your performance and stay on top of your goals. Whether you're just starting or deep into your prep, Digital Current Affairs Premium adapts to your strategy and makes every minute count. So why prepare the hard way when you can prepare the smart way? Visit www.visionis.in/current-affairs and start transforming your current affairs prep today. Because with Vision IAS, you don't just stay updated, you stay ahead. crucial. No matter how well you perform in GS, if you don't clear CSAT, your prelims ends there. Every year, many capable aspirants fall short simply because they underestimated this paper. What's the way forward? Structured preparation, consistent practice, and the right guidance. Join the Vision IAS CSAT Classroom Program 2026 starting from 12th June at 11 a.m. What you'll get: complete coverage of quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and comprehension. Emphasis on speed, accuracy, and concept clarity. Regular practice with UPSC level questions. Personalized guidance and mentorship. Available in both offline, classroom, and live online modes. Whether you're a first-time aspirant or reappearing, don't let CSAT be the reason you fall short. CSAT is qualifying but absolutely crucial. No matter how well you perform in GS, if you don't clear CSAT, your prelims ends there. Every year, many capable aspirants fall short simply because they underestimated this paper. What's the way forward? Structured preparation, consistent practice, and the right guidance. Join the Vision IAS CSAT Classroom Program 2026 starting from 12th June at 11 a.m. What you'll get: complete coverage of quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and comprehension. Emphasis on speed, accuracy, and concept clarity. Regular practice with UPSC level questions. Personalized guidance and mentorship. Available in both offline, classroom, and live online modes. Whether you're a first-time aspirant or reappearing, don't let CSAT be the reason you fall short. CSAT is qualifying but absolutely crucial. No matter how well you perform in GS, if you don't clear CSAT, your prelims ends there. Every year, many capable aspirants fall short simply because they underestimated this paper. What's the way forward? Structured preparation, consistent practice, and the right guidance. Join the Vision IAS CSAT Classroom Program 2026 starting from 12th June at 11 a.m. What you'll get: complete coverage of quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and comprehension. Emphasis on speed, accuracy, and concept clarity. Regular practice with UPSC level questions. Personalized guidance and mentorship. Available in both offline, classroom, and live online modes. Whether you're a first-time aspirant or reappearing, don't let CSAT be the reason you fall short. CSAT is qualifying but absolutely.
Yeah, good morning all. Nice to see you. So someone joined very recently and some other are doing their self-study. Good, right? Now, see this one. What should be the approach for the next preliminary exam? There is a very prescribed way how the UPSC is speaking to the students. Everyone believes there is no connectivity between UPSC and whatever the type of exam, whatever the type of questions that are asked in the UPSC, and where the students are preparing in such a way where the questions, once they are facing the questions, then they are trying to prepare some strategy. This is what the people feels like. But UPSC has prescribed something through the previous year question papers. It is speaking to the students directly what I am expecting from the students. Whenever you are solving the previous year questions, then you can understand the futuristic exam, the patterns of the future exams. And so practicing the PYQs is a mandatory. No matter how many times you read one particular topic, maybe in one particular subject, if at all you are not practicing the previous year questions, then again you will be in the dark. See the logic here. What UPSC is doing, suppose if there is a question asked in the preliminary part, under this question there will be 4 options will be there, A, B, C, D. You need to pay attention on each and every option. That very option which may be wrong for that particular question on that particular year, maybe that may be a futuristic question in the next exam, or maybe for the future coming exams, right? Without any importance to that particular word, there won't be any such word in the UPSC paper. Definitely will be having some link or other link with that particular word, and that particular question may be asked in the future, right? Therefore, whatever the statements you are seeing in the UPSC paper and whatever the options you are coming across, each and everything needs to be known. Each and everything needs to be studied very keenly. Let us throw some light on the previous year questions with respect to 2023, 2024, 2025. What is the concept and how the question was asked? Like maybe you may be preparing for the entire, the concept is known to you, but how the questions are specifically asked in that particular concept, that is very important, right? Let us throw some light on this one. What type of questions are asked and what type of answers and how the analysis can be done and where you need to concentrate more on in the future exams. See this one. This is regarding the preliminary 2023. We are going to see 2023, prelims 2024, and even the recent prelims 2025, right? Let us come across 2023. Consider the following statements. Jhelum River passes through Ular Lake. Krishna River directly feeds Kolleru Lake. Meandering of Gandak River forms Kanwar Lake. What is this one? This is basically the drainage patterns, the drainage system. Specifically with respect to the drainage system where the focus should be there. And those rivers which are in the news, you need to pay attention on this one. If at all you are seeing India, India is a land of rivers. There are so many rivers and so many tributaries are there. It's quite impossible to remember each and every tributary and each and every river. And so you need to focus on those important rivers which are in the current issues. Also, there are certain important rivers where you have to mandatorily know all these things. Like say for example, see the river, the major rivers like Jhelum River, Krishna River, and even the Gandak is also a very important river. When I am talking about the Jhelum River, this is the very important lifeline for the people of Srinagar. It is Srinagar where it is located on the banks of Jhelum River. And this river, the river is passing through the India's largest freshwater lake called as Ular Lake. Ular Lake is very, very popular one. India's the largest freshwater lake. And so, which river is flowing into that one, you should be knowing. The next one, Krishna River. Why this Kolleru Lake was the one which is there in the news at that point of time? Why this was asked as a question at that point of time in the year 2023? Because there was good news with respect to the Kolleru Lake. The Kolleru Lake, which happens to be a freshwater lake in Andhra Pradesh, got got degraded like anything because of the aquaculture that is happening, because of conversion of freshwater lake into degraded condition. This question was asked. That was there in the current affairs in that particular year. When it was a current affairs topic in that particular year, obviously question can be asked, right? See, this is the Krishna river. Krishna river directly feeds Kolleru lake. There is no connectivity between the Krishna river and the Kolleru lake. In fact, where is this Kolleru lake? If I draw the picture like this one, draw the map like this one, if this is Andhra Pradesh, the river Krishna, instead of Andhra Pradesh, let me show this one like this one. Okay, now you can get connected with this one. The river Krishna flows like this one. The river Godavari flows like this one. Where do you find the Kolleru lake? It is there located in between the Krishna and Godavari river. It is not directly entering, means what? The Krishna river is not directly flowing into the Kolleru lake. When Kolleru lake was in news, you need to see the surrounding things, like which river is flowing into this one, whether it is having the source, whether the water is the stagnant water, or some other river is continuously flowing, or where the outflow is there. You should be knowing all these things. And so it is the newspaper which will be guiding you where to read and what to read, what not to read also. This is about the Kolleru lake. So the question that is asked here, the Krishna river is directly feeding the Kolleru lake. This statement is wrong. This statement is wrong. The first one is the correct statement, whereas the second one is a wrong statement. This is the first statement, right? This is the wrong statement. Meandering of Gandak river formed Kanwar lake. This Kanwar lake, which is an important Ramsar wetland site, and in fact that was the only, in 2023, that was the only Ramsar wetland site in Bihar. When it is, Kanwar is the only Ramsar wetland site in Bihar, and so the question can be asked on this particular wetland, maybe in the environment topic or maybe in the geography. Moreover, what is this Kanwar lake? Kanwar lake is also a oxbow lake. See this one. The Kanwar lake is an oxbow lake. When we say it is an oxbow lake, what is the very important geographical structure that is forming the oxbow lake? Meander. Say, if at all you are seeing this one like this one, if this is the oxbow lake, the river is meandering like this one. When the meanderings are there, some of the meanders, like, if it is meandering like this one, because of the erosion that is happening on the outside bank of the meanders, over a period of time, the outside banks get coalesced. What do you mean by coalesced? Nothing but they get combined. When they get combined, the waters, they move directly into the other channel like this one. Say, if it is a picture like this one. Now the river, once upon a time, the water was moving like this one in all the entire meander. But now the water started moving directly like this one. When the river water started moving directly, instead of taking a meander curve like this one, see, this is the river meander. When the river water starts moving directly into this one like this one, what happens to the water that is already there? It remains as a stagnant water and forms as a freshwater lake. Such freshwater lakes are called as the oxbow lakes. They are the oxbow lakes. One of the very, very important oxbow lake is called as Khabartal lake. What is this Khabartal? We have read the word called as Kanwar here. We have seen the word called as Kanwar, but this very Kanwar lake is also called as Khabartal. See the terminology. There are different terminologies. And this particular Khabartal lake was there in the news. See this one, this is also called as Khabartal, which happens to be one of the only Bihar's Ramsar wetland site. When it was announced as a Ramsar wetland site, it was there in the news on that particular year, and so this is the question. See the connectivity. Always the questions are asked only on those important events. Whenever some important events, some developments happens, then the questions will be asked like this one. This is how you need to catch the pulse of UPSC. Therefore, the first and only statement, this is the first statement that is right. Meander of Gandak river forms Kanwar lake. This is the statement. Definitely meander forms the Oxbow lakes, but this river is not the Gandak river. In fact, there is a tributary of Gandak river called as Burhi Gandak. What we have explained till now, definitely meanders will be giving out the formation of Oxbow lakes, but which meander? Is it the Gandak river? It's not the Gandak river. It is the tributary of Gandak called as Burhi Gandak, which has formed the Kanwar lake. Therefore, this statement is also wrong. This is wrong, this is wrong. Therefore, only one statement is correct. This is how you need to arrive to the answer, right? This is the first question. Let us move to the further questions. I will be explaining some, what is called as some, wherever the more conceptual things are there, I will be going in deep, and the remaining things we will be seeing, like, there are some factual questions we will be passing, right? Which one of the following is the best example for repeated fall in the sea level, giving rise to the present day extensive marshland? In fact, it is completely the concept based question. What do you mean by repeated fall in the sea level? What is this one? The concept is with respect to what is called as rejuvenation, the river rejuvenation. Normally, what you will be reading in the NCERT or in the GC Leong or maybe in some other any material, you will be coming across the rivers will be exhibiting different stages, like the youth stage, mature stage, and the old days, right? This is what the rivers. In each and every stage, the rivers will be creating certain landforms which are highly exclusive to that particular stage only. Like waterfalls is the best example for the landform in the youth stage. Then meanders are the best examples for the mature, and the things like deltas, the links, things like you can find braided channels, riverine islands, all they are the examples for the landforms in the old days. But see this one. Say for example, this is a river, has enjoyed the youthful stage. Now it has entered the mature stage like this, it is flowing like this one. And now it is in the old days. Whenever the river is in the old days, the river is moving very slowly. Because of some tectonic adjustments, if the land got slipped like this one. If the land got slipped, every chance is there for the land to slip. Maybe it is a big elevated area and the land got subsided here. When it got subsided, what happens to the river? The river was in the youthful stage once upon a time, entered into the mature stage, now it is in the old days. Now the river started entering again into the youthful stage, which is called as the river rejuvenation. Whenever such a river rejuvenation takes place, you can find again the formation of youthful landforms. This concept, whatever the question that is asked, is connected to this one. Like the same pattern, whatever we have explained like this one. This is the coastal area. Whatever we have seen here, now imagine like this one. This is the coastal area. This is the mean sea level. Whenever it is a mean sea level, the river will be flowing in a very sluggish way here. Meaning what it is in the old days. Whenever it is in the old days, it will be forming the old days landforms. Say for example, the sea level has fallen. The sea level which was up to here has dropped here. When the sea level dropped, then what happens? The river gets rejuvenate. Instead of forming the age-old landforms, now it starts moving, the water starts moving with a intense velocity, somewhat more velocity, because of the slope that is provided. Therefore, you can find different unique types of landforms. Such land area where you can find a repeated fall in the sea levels has created marshy land. If at all you are seeing the atlas also, there the clue is given. What is that clue? If you see this area, the Rann of Kutch, what is represented in the atlas? The Rann of Kutch, where the dark lines are represented here. What are these dark lines? As if it is a water body just like how we will be drawing the water body, the same things are being represented even in the atlas, in the Ran of Kutch. What that representation, that is what called as the marshy area. What do you mean by marshy area? The waterlogged regions. Because of repeated fall in the sea level, this particular area is the best example for converting into the marshy area. This is a very, very important, the factual at the same time, the conceptual based question that is asked in the UPSC. See the one, which of the following is the best example for the repeated falls in the sea level? When the sea level is repeatedly falling down, whenever it is falling down, the unique type of landforms will be keep on forming and giving rise to the present day extensive marshland. What is this marshland? Nothing but the waterlogged condition. Where do you find such type of conditions? It is in the Ran of Kutch area. Not just the Ran of Kutch is the answer. In fact, even you can find some of the other areas also where there are also the marshy lands. See the areas like Bhitarkanika. Bhitarkanika region is a area where you can find in the Odisha area, Odisha state, there also you can find the marshy conditions, where you can find the water stagnated on the land. All they are the related to marshy conditions, but which has formed as a marshy land because of repeated fall in the sea level, the Ran of Kutch. That's why atlas is a very, very important thing. Don't overlook like even a single line, whatever the line that is present in the atlas, it has got some meaning, specifically in the physical map. Whenever you are keenly keenly observing the atlas, you can find some unique things. Like, say for example, in the case of USA, the western states of USA, the boundaries are straight lines, whereas the eastern states of USA are not in a straight line. They are in a zigzag fashion. You need to have a question. What is the question? Why the states of USA in the western side are having a straight lines? Why the state boundaries are having a zigzag boundary lines in the eastern side? Whenever the question is there in your mind, definitely it starts working on this one, and then you can get greater information. Always the atlas gives you a very accurate and very important information with respect to the phenomena that happen in the past. If at all you are seeing the things like, wherever you can find the coastal areas, in some of the coastal areas you can find some dark patches. What are these dark patches? Specifically in the coast of Kerala or in the coast of Bengal, you can find somewhat shaded areas, light shaded areas, or maybe the enclosed water bodies. Each and every point is very important there. You need to know what is that one, then you can get the answer. See this one. Instead of learning the repeated fall in the sea level, if you are seeing the atlas, then the doubt will be there. If at all you are working on the doubt, you will get this answer. Right? This is about the sea level changes, at the same time the formation of the marshy lands. Then it is a direct question with respect to the minerals. Ilmenite and rutite, abundantly available in certain coastal tracts of India. They are rich sources of which of the following? First of all, you need to know where do you find these minerals. In fact, these minerals are very, very important in the modern days, where they are available on ample scale in our India. Where do you find? They are all available in the form of a placer deposits. What are placer deposits? Whenever the river is flowing, the river water is depositing at one particular area along the coastal sides. There in that river deposited sediments you can find these minerals. Where do you find? They are extensively found in the coast of Kerala. If at all, I am showing the picture. See, always you need to learn the subject with the help of the maps, diagrams. Suppose if this is our India, you can find the coast of Kerala. In the coast of Kerala, in the sands of Kerala you can find. Also you can find in the sands of Tamil Nadu. You can find in the sands of Andhra Pradesh, along the coastal sands of Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, even Kerala. In all these areas, the coastal sands are having the deposits of ilmenite and rutite. For what these minerals are useful for? They are nothing but, if at all you are seeing the formula of this ilmenite and rutile, it itself is having the symbol called as Ti. Nothing but they are abundantly having the mineral called as titanium. Have you ever seen this one? In the automobile industry, titanium plays a major role. Titanium is such a very important mineral where the scratches will not be there. In the automobile, whenever the vehicle is there, obviously because of the driving or because of the heavy traffic, scratches will be there. But the titanium is the one mineral where the scratches are very, very less. Even though the vehicle is getting collided with the other one, the scratch, formation of the scratch there is very, very less. And you might have seen even some of the vehicles like Ford vehicle, where under this one you can find the titanium. Ford titanium, the brand itself is named as titanium. Why? Because it is a scratch-less mineral. Where it is available? Available in the coastal sands of our peninsular India. Right? If you know the importance of this mineral, then you can understand the other things. Then, again, this, with respect to the factual information, you need to know about the ports. Why the ports of India are very important? In fact, our entire trade, more than 90% of our trade is depending upon the water transportation. Specifically, there are certain ports. Till recently, there were only 12 major ports in India. Recently, with the introduction of Vadwana port in the western coast of Maharashtra, just to the north of Bombay, in the district called as Palghar district, where the number of ports, the number of major ports has risen to 13. Whenever such developments happens, question can be asked on this one, maybe in the mains, maybe in the prelims, right? Any such development is there, the new thing you should be paying attention on. Now see this one, the major ports are very important sources of trade and commerce in India. And whenever you are talking about these ports, each and every port has got one significance. Whenever you are reading the topic called as ports, transportation, each and every major port has got one significance. What is the question asked? They have given the significance of that particular port and they are questioning. See this one. Consider the following pairs. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? The question appears to be very, very conventional, but at the same time, what is the preparation? Where in the materials what is given? The significance of this port, the significance of this port, the significance of this port. If you know the significance of that port, then definitely you will be in a position to write the answer. Now see, what is the answer for this one? Kamarajar port. Where is this Kamarajar port? Whenever, let me show you all the major ports. Suppose if this is the coastal India, where do you find the major ports? What are the important major ports? The first and foremost one is called as the Kandla. Kandla port, the name Kandla everyone will be remembering, but what the name of the port is also called as Pandit Deen Dayal port. You need to remember the names like Deen Dayal port. This is the Deen Dayal port. Then comes the other one, very important, major. I am talking about only major ports. This is the Kandla port. Whenever you are coming across here, this Bombay port. This is Bombay port. Just to the south of Bombay, just to the south of hardly some 25-30 kilometers to the south of Bombay port, the port called as Nhava Sheva port was constructed. The Nhava Sheva port was constructed under the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust Authority, right? Under the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Nhava Sheva port was constructed. What is the need of constructing the port just to the south of Bombay? Such questions should be there in your mind. When there is Bombay port, hardly some 20 to 30 kilometers, again why there should be a construction of the new port? In order to ease the traffic of Bombay. As the Bombay port became saturated, now there must be some other alternative to manage the cargo there. In order to ease the traffic of Bombay on the war footing basis, the Nhava Sheva port was constructed. This is also a major port. Then the other one is called as Marma Goa port. Marma Goa port. Then Mangaluru port. Mangaluru port. Then the port called as Cochin port. These are the major ports that are located in the western side of India, western coast of India. What are the other ports that are present in the eastern coast? The first and foremost is called as Tuticorin. The Tuticorin port. which is also called as, see, this is a very, very important, the southernmost port of India, very important, significant port here. This is also called as Chidambaram port. Chidambaram. Chidambaram port. Then it's called as Chennai port. Just to the north of Chennai, some 25 kilometers to the north of Chennai, there is a port called as Ennore port. Why there should be a port just to the north of Chennai port? Chennai is a very huge and large port. Why there is a need of constructing the port? Again, in order to ease the traffic of what is Nhava Sheva for Bombay, Ennore is for Chennai. What is this Ennore port? This Ennore port is otherwise called as Kamarajar port. This is the first port which was registered as a company. Out of all the major ports, which is the first port which is acting as a company? This is what the Kamarajar port. That is a uniqueness. When you know that uniqueness, see there is a direct question. Then Mundra port, acha, let me give all other ports also. Then the next port is called as Visakhapatnam port. Then the next one is called as the Paradip port of Odisha. Then there is a port called as Haldia port. And on the river Hooghly, there is a port called as Kolkata port. The Kolkata and Haldia are there on the Hooghly. At the mouth of the Hooghly, there is a Haldia port, and on the land, on the river, you can find what is called as the Kolkata port. And so both they are considered as one port. This is what the Kolkata and Haldia and all these are the important major ports. Each and every port has got one uniqueness. Like Nhava Sheva is having such a great container holding capacity. See, this one Bombay is having a huge traffic. How the goods are being brought in the containers? Where do you find the largest container holding capacity? In order to ease the traffic of Bombay, this port was constructed, and so it is having the capacity to hold the containers. And that is what is given. Like largest container port of India. What is the largest container port of India? Nhava Sheva, not the Visakhapatnam. But what is the significance of the Visakhapatnam? Visakhapatnam is a very great technological port. Means what? You can find a very great modernized port. Out of all the ports, which is a highly modernized port? It is Visakhapatnam. Where do you find the construction of submarines? Do you know this one? Right now, the government of India is in a position to construct the indigenous submarines. We are having such a great technology. We are constructing the submarines. Earlier, we used to import from Russia and some other countries. But right now, we are developing on our own, which is called as indigenous technology. Where we are developing such a indigenous submarines, what type of submarines? Not the submarines which are traveling, which are working on the conventional fuels. There are certain submarines which were developed on the fuel called as the non-conventional source of energy, the uranium. Enriched uranium is kept as a fuel and the submarines are working. Which is that submarine which is the first indigenously developed nuclear submarine? The name of the submarine is called as Arihant. Where that was constructed? In the Visakhapatnam. Though here it is not correctly matched, the people, what the students will be doing, we feel like, this is a wrong answer, we will be giving less importance to this particular point. But what my point is, whatever is right, you definitely will be paying attention on, but whatever is wrong, for that also give equal importance. It is wrong definitely, you need to know which is the largest container port. It is Nhava Sheva. Then why it is given? Probably this is the futuristic question. You need to know what is the significance of this one. This is the modernized port of India, where you can find the building of nuclear submarines. Not only nuclear submarines, you can find the construction of fast moving patrolling boats. This is what the Visakhapatnam. Highly modernized port is Visakhapatnam. And what is the other important significance? Which is the only natural port that is present in the eastern coast? Visakhapatnam. Whereas majority of the ports in the western coast are natural ports. Which is the only natural port in the eastern coast? Visakhapatnam. See, this is the mode you need to know the things. When you know such type of things, then you will be in a position to write the answers. Right? What is the answer now? This is correct. Mundra port. This is not a major port, but it is under the control of Adani Ports. It is managed by what? Adani Ports. Where it is located? In the in the Gulf of, this is called as the Kutch Gulf. It is there in the Kutch Gulf. This is what the Mundra port, completely under the Mundra, and the SEZ called as the Adani Port SEZ. This is the private port, largest privately owned port in India. Yes, it is the largest privately owned port in India. This is right, this is right. Therefore, only 2 pairs should be the answer. If you know the concept, then only you will be arriving to the conclusion. It's not like taking a wild guess. There is no such thing called as taking a wild guess. If you know this one, you can write the answer. Right? See, always what is important is more information. Whenever you are having more information, then you will be in a position to write the answers. Right? Consider the following statements. India has more arable area than China. The proportion of irrigated area is more in India as compared to China. The average productivity per hectare in India, Indian agriculture is higher than that of China. First of all, let us focus on important facts. What are the important facts? Understand this one. Whenever you are comparing the geographical area of India and China, definitely you can make out very easily by seeing the atlas. China is larger in size than that of the India. But though it is larger in the entire geographical area, whenever it comes to the arable land, what do you mean by arable land? Nothing but cultivable land, the cropped land. When you are talking about the cultivable land, if I give the numbers, India is having the very great cultivable land. Almost all 170 million hectares of cultivable land is there. This is what the greatness of our India. Our great northern plains are having such a extensive cultivable conditions. Entirely 170 million hectares of cultivable area is there in India. Whereas China, though it is larger in size, but its cultivable area is around some 160 million hectares. It is having less than our cultivable area. Geographically it is larger, but the area which can be cultivated is less in China. This is the first point. Then see the productivities. When it is having less cultivable land, the population of India and China almost all equal, right? Though we are a little bit ahead right now, but they are almost all 147 crores, 145 crores. Doesn't make much difference, right? Whenever you are seeing such a population, huge population, when they are having this much of land, cultivable 160 million hectares, all these areas are completely under irrigation condition. Let us see the irrigation. How much of land is under irrigated condition? Around some 45% of the land of this 170 million hectares is under irrigation. What do you mean by irrigation? Where you can go for cultivating 2 crops a year, artificial supply of water in the non-rainy season, right? What type of how much of area is under the irrigation here? Hardly 41%. Less than that of the India. The land, cultivable land itself is less. Irrigated condition is also less. But how comes it is having such a great capacity to export the food grains? Do you know, if at all you are seeing the exports of the Chinese products, food grains are exported, the processed food grains are also being exported, all these are being exported. How comes they are exporting much more than our India? Because their productivities. What do you mean by productivity? In one piece of land, if in India, say for example 10 bags of one product, maybe paddy is cultivated, on the same piece of land in China, they are not producing 10 bags, they are producing more than 50 bags. Just imagine. The area is one and the same. If I give the realistic pictures, the average productivity, what is the average productivity per hectare in China and in India? It is around some $407 billion. In terms of dollars, if at all we are converting the food products in the dollars, how many dollars where the government of India or in Indian agriculture where the production is there per 1 hectare? If at all you are selling the products, it is some $407 billion. What is the productivity per hectare in China? Do you know? $1,370 billion. The same land, the land is one and the same. Whatever we are producing, whatever they are producing is having such a wide difference. This is what the productivity, just imagine. Land is less, irrigation is less, yet productivities are very high. That is what the R&D they have developed in their country. There is a wider scope even in India to have such a great developments, right? Wherever the scope is there, you need to pay attention on. Whenever there is a wider scope, definitely you can bring some betterment in the Indian economic systems, right? See, this is about the explanation. Now see the question. India has more arable land than China, which is in fact true. But again, there is a disclaimer. You need to know about this one. What is the disclaimer? India's see this one. India's land, the arable land is more according to many sources. You talk about any sources, the Google or maybe in the important websites, every information is there. India is having more arable land. In fact, in the world countries, only a few countries are having greater arable land. Out of this one, India tops number 1. That is what is known for everyone. But in the key provided by UPSC, somehow it is given as wrong. Somehow it is given as wrong. Whom to question? The sources are there, the newspapers are there, reports are there. Even the governmental websites of India are also telling that India is having more arable land. But UPSC sometimes is giving wrong. This one, challenging, needs to be done, right? This is a disclaimer. Somehow it has given as wrong, we need to check this one, right? Whereas the second one, the proportion of irrigation area is more, yes, it is true. Then average productivity per hectare in India agriculture is higher. Is it higher or what? See the wide difference, a greater gap is there. Indian productivity is just $407 billion, whereas the Chinese is $1,370 billion. So this statement is wrong. According to UPSC, only one is right, but according to Vision or according to the important newspapers, information and even Google, what it is, answer should be 2. But somehow UPSC has given only one as answer. That we need to rectify, right? Is it clear? But remember this one, the arable land in India is much more than that of China. Remember this statement. So whenever there is some wrong information is there, something is there, definitely this is going to be a next futuristic question in a different way. It is maybe another 1 year, second year, third year, maybe within 1 to 3 years, it can be again repeated as a question in a different way, right? This is about the third question. Then move to the next one. It is a map-based question. About 3/4 of the world's cobalt, a metal required for manufacturing batteries for electric motor vehicles, is produced by. Again, the factual information, not the map-based, factual information. It is with respect to the world's cobalt. Right now, what are the important minerals where the entire world is waiting for? One is cobalt, another one is nickel. Why these nickel and cobalt? These are considered as a futuristic fuels. What is fuel right now for us is the coal and the natural gas and the crude oil. But for the future, what is the fuel? It is the nickel. Why? Because, not nickel, lithium. Lithium and the cobalt. Why the lithium and the cobalt are considered as the futuristic fuels? They are having the capacity to hold more quantity of energy. If at all you are opening your cell phone, you will be seeing the batteries called as lithium-ion batteries. Why lithium only? Because it is having the capacity to hold the energy for a longer duration. One is cobalt, another one is lithium. And whenever you are comparing these minerals, let us show this one. What is the answer for this one? Which country is having the highest reserves of cobalt? It is the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa. Which country is having the maximum reserves of cobalt? It is Democratic Republic of Congo. Whereas with respect to lithium, remember this one, very, very important. Recently, the World Resources Atlas has given the information saying that there is a lithium triangle. there is a area called as lithium triangle, where these are the countries having greatest quantities of lithium in the entire world. What are these countries called as? The countries are called as ABC countries. What are these ABC countries? Argentina, Bolivia and Chile. Where do you find all these countries? All they are in South America. All they are in the South America. If you see the map of South America, if it is the South America map, this is Argentina. Here I can find the Argentina, like this one. This entirely the Argentina. This is Chile. This is Argentina. This is Chile. And somewhere here I can find Bolivia. Which is having such a greater reserves of lithium? It is Bolivia. Topmost rank goes to Bolivia, followed by the other two countries, right? This is what called as the cobalt and lithium. Such type of unique minerals, wherever they are available, you need to pay attention on. Recently what happened, even in our India also, we discovered lithium. Where the lithium was discovered in India, one is in the state of Karnataka. In the state of Karnataka, in the district called as Mandya. The Mandya district of Karnataka, where the lithium was discovered. Also, recently, very recently, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, lithium was discovered. In the eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh, the lithium was discovered. This particular mineral is very, very important for the future, right? This is about the knowing, not just knowing this one is sufficient. You need to know the connecting topics, because you are not going to write the same question paper. The new question paper will be there, and so what can be the futuristic question, you should be in a position to guess, right? This is what whenever cobalt is there, every chance is there for asking about the lithium, right? Then also lithium was discovered in some of the other areas like even Jammu Kashmir also, right? Now, the next question. Which one of the following is a part of Congo Basin? What is this Congo Basin? What is the significance of the Congo Basin? First of all, whenever there is a question with respect to one particular thing, like Congo Basin, you should be knowing why Congo Basin only. Which of the following is a part of Himalayan Basin? Can be a question, but why they are not asking Himalayan Basin? Or if they are not asking the Ganga region, or Ganga Basin, they are not asking the Himalayan region, or they are not asking Amazon. Why they are asking Congo? Means what? Congo is the one which was in the news recently under a report called as IPCC. Under this one, there is a organization called as UNFCCC. This is a IPCC is a report submitting agency, body, where the reports are being produced by this IPCC, Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change. Under this one, there is a body which is exclusive nodal organization to manage the climate change. This is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. What it has given the statement, this is talking about the peatland. It is talking about the peatland. What do you mean by peatland? Peatland is a waterlogged area where the vegetation got deposited in that one. If the water gets evaporates, that vegetation will be converted into carbon dioxide, because the degradation happens, decomposition. Whenever the decomposition happens, carbon dioxide will be released. Huge and enormous quantity of carbon dioxide will be released. When the report was talking about the peatland, now the question was asked, where do you find, or which of the following is a part of Congo Basin? Where do you find the waterlogged region and more vegetation was dumped into that one? Is the point where you need to remember. Now, which is the country where you can find in the Congo? Nigeria is somewhat far from Congo. If at all I am showing the map like this one, if this is Africa, what is this Congo Basin? This is what the Congo Basin. This is the Congo Basin. In this area you can find the Congo. You can find the river, maybe somewhat like this one, right? Where is Nigeria? You can find somewhere here, the South Sudan here, Uganda here. Where do you find the country called as Cameroon? Somewhere here. And so Cameroon is a country which is falling under the Congo Basin. When the report is talking about this one, why this should be the question? You should be questioning yourself. For that expectation, you need, for that guessing, you need to know the report. If at all you don't know the reports, then you cannot guess this one, right? The next one. After the Congo Basin, then consider the following statements. Amarkantak hills are at confluence of Vindhyas and Sahyadris. Biligirangan hills constitute easternmost part of Satpura ranges. Seshachalam hills constitute the southernmost part of the Western Ghats. Meaning what? All it is completely related to the map, the atlas. You should be having a greater command on the atlas. What are these hills they have given? One is Amarkantak. Where do you find Amarkantak? Amarkantak is the birthplace for Narmada. Then you can find the important rivers like Son River, also the tributaries to Godavari, also the tributaries to Mahanadi also. So many rivers are taking birth in Amarkantak. Where it is located? It is in the Madhya Pradesh region. Is at the confluence of Vindhyas. Okay, probability is there. Vindhyas are also there located in the Madhya Pradesh. Then Sahyadris. What are these Sahyadris? Nothing but the Western Ghats. Have nothing to do with the Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh and the Western Ghats are not connected. So, obviously, this is wrong. This statement is wrong. This is a wrong statement. This is a wrong statement. Biligirangan, again, these are the hills that are present in the state of Karnataka, southern states, right? Constitute the easternmost part of Satpuras. Where is Karnataka? Where is Satpura? There is no link at all. You should be knowing these places like Biligirangan hills. Where do you find? They are there in the Karnataka. If you know this one, then you can arrive at the answer. Satpuras are there in the Madhya Pradesh, therefore they are not connected. Then Sheshachalam, very, very famous, the Eastern Ghats mountains of where the people right now they are talking about more about one endemic species. What the Sheshachalam hills are very famous for? The endemic species called as red sandalwood. Where do you find Lal Chandan? It is only in this area. Therefore, the point wherever they are located, if you know that location, you will be in a position to even take a guess. Right? Sheshachalam hills constitute the southernmost part of Western Ghats. Where do you find the Sheshachalam? They are related to the Eastern Ghats, not the Western Ghats. Therefore, this is also wrong. All the three statements are wrong. The answer should be none. Right? Provided if you know these hills, then only you will be in a position to write the answer. Or else, you cannot write the answer. Right? See this one. With reference to India's projects on connectivity, consider the following statements. Connectivity means what? Transport. Whenever you are talking about the connectivity, consider the following statement. East-West corridor. What are these corridors? There are two corridors. One is the North-South corridor, and one is called as East-West corridor. North-South corridor is the one which is connecting Srinagar to Kanyakumari. A very, very complete one single road connecting from the northern part of India to southern part of India. Also, there is another one called as East-West corridor, connecting the Silchar of Assam to Porbandar of Gujarat. There is an extreme easternmost city of India called as Silchar in Assam, right from Silchar to Porbandar of Gujarat. These are the two important connecting junctions that are present, acting as a veins and arteries for the Indian transportation. One is called as the North-South corridor, and one is the East-West corridor. Now see this one, East-West corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project. It is not under the Golden Quadrilateral. What do you mean by Golden Quadrilateral project? Connecting all the major metropolitan cities of India. Therefore, it is not the one. Connects Dibrugarh to Surat. See, they have given Assam to Gujarat. Even East-West corridor is also connecting Assam with Gujarat, but it's not Dibrugarh, it is Silchar. Silchar to not Surat but Porbandar. Therefore, this is wrong. The statement is wrong. The first statement is wrong. The second statement. What is the second statement? The trilateral highway connects More in Manipur and Chiang Mai in Thailand via Myanmar. See the close association they have given in order to make you confused. In fact, there is a trilateral highway connection that is there between India, Myanmar and Thailand, which is popularly called as IMT highway. Once upon a time in the year around some 2018, what happened, 2015, 16, 17, during that point of time, this company, Mahindra company, our automobile company, Mahindra company, has conducted a very important, what is called as program where the young generation, the youths are being asked, the celebrities are asked to drive right from India to Thailand by taking their vehicles. It's a sort of advertisement type of thing. This is what the program that was conducted. And this IMT highway is very, very important, connecting India from where? From Moreh of Manipur. From there, we'll be entering into Myanmar, reaching Mandalay, reaching Naypyidaw. What is Naypyidaw? The new capital city. Earlier, the old capital city was Mandalay. Then Naypyidaw. Also, the part very close to Rangoon, a very, very important major city of Myanmar is Rangoon, where we are also calling that one as Yangon, right? The name is Rangoon, also called as Yangon. Via these three important cities, it will be entering into Thailand, but not in the Chiang Mai. It's called as Mai Tao region. There is an area called as Mai Tao region. The Mai Tao region is connected with this one. Therefore, see, Mai is there, but not Chiang. The people in the exam hall, out of what is called as tension, they will be going as right answer, but it is wrong, right? This is also wrong. Myanmar is given, Thailand is given, India is given, yes, Moreh in Manipur, all they are correct, but this is not the right one. Is it clear? Then the third one, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar. This is called as BCIM Economic Corridor. BCIM Economic Corridor connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. Varanasi is there definitely in Uttar Pradesh, but it is not connecting Varanasi, but it is connecting what is called as Kolkata of Bengal, of West Bengal, not Varanasi. This BCIM Economic Corridor is connecting the Kunming province. What is this Kunming province? The southernmost part of China in the eastern side, which is having the connectivity with the Myanmar. Suppose if I draw the picture like, if it is India like this one, this is the Myanmar area, this is Myanmar, China comes up to here like this one. This is called as the Kunming province, which is having the neighborhood with the Myanmar. From Kunming into Myanmar, from Myanmar into northeastern India, into Bangladesh, from Bangladesh into Kolkata. Meaning what? You should be having very great command on the atlas. That's why geography and atlas are inseparable. If you don't have atlas, you will be at loss. Right? This is about this statement is not Varanasi, it is Kolkata of Bengal. Therefore, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. All the three are wrong. The answer should be none. Then the next one, go to the 2024 prelims. See, whatever you have learned in the 2023, the options, we didn't pay much importance for the options. Means what? A, B, C, D. We have selected only one and the remaining things we left. This is what the students are also will be doing. But now see what I am going to do. Even each and every option will be studied. When you know that option, probability is there for the future question regarding that particular option. Right? Let us talk about the 2024. The longest boundary between any two countries in the world is, which is the longest boundary between any two countries? The first and foremost, the geometric boundary. What do you mean by geometric boundary? Where it is drawn, it is scale between Canada and USA. Which is the largest country? Russia. Generally, students will be going like this one. When we say it is the largest country, definitely that country should be having a largest boundary for with any other country. That is what the people will be believing. What is that one that is given? It is also given as a question to trap you. Kazakhstan and Russia. The people feel like yes, Kazakhstan and Russia are also, since Russia is the largest country geographically, and so it is having the longest boundary also. But the answer is here, it's wrong. It is Canada and USA. They are having the longest boundary. Then Chile and Argentina, where you can find in the South America, which is the elongated, vertically elongated country, Chile. Along the Chile, which is the country having the boundary, almost all 90% of the Chile boundary is Argentina. Only on the top you can find Peru and the other country like Bolivia, right? Where the other side you can find only Argentina and the Chile. 90% is with the Argentina. Then China and India, yes, you can find China and India are also having extensive boundary, but not so extensive as that of the Chile or the Canada, right? This is about the first one. The answer is Canada and the USA. Then consider the following countries: Italy, Japan, Nigeria, South Korea, South Africa. Which of the above countries are frequently mentioned in the media for their low birth rates or aging population or declining population? See, there are so many options are given, like declining population, aging population, low birth rates. What do you mean by low birth rates? The new birth rates means what? The young kids are not taking birth, right? Aging population, the age-old people are there. Even that age-old people are dying. And so, you can find the declining trend. The new kids are, means the young generation is not willing to give birth for the young, new births are not there. At the same time, the death rates are also good. This is called as declining population. In which of the following countries? Remember this one. Any time, whenever you are talking about the declining birth rates or the what is called as low birth rates, remember this particular country. This country, out of all the countries in the world, which is having the lowest birth rates, very, very low birth rate, which should be the ideal condition? It is the total fertility rate should be 2.1. That is the idealistic condition. Whenever, what do you mean by total fertility rate? By the end of the reproductive age group, where the women, by the end of her reproductive age, she should be in a position to give birth for at least 2 kids. That is what called as the total fertility rate. How much should be? It should be 2.1. That is ideal. But how much is there for South Korea? It is 0.78, which is dangerous and drastic. That's why some of the fellows, like, even that fellow like Mr. Elon Musk has given the statement, Singapore and South Korea will not be there in another coming 50, 60 years. This is what the statement he has given. Why? Because when the new birth rates are not there, for what the infrastructure development, for what the economic development is? When there are no people, what you will be doing with the tall buildings, with all the vehicles and all these things? Right? Therefore, South Korea, it has to be there. One is there, one is for sure. Now, when we talk about 4, there are only 2 options left over. There are only 2 options left over. Now see this one. The other country, by the side of South Korea, the other country called as Japan. Japan is having age-old, aging population. Out of entire world, which country is known for its age-old population? Japan. Because their lifespan is 8. The minimum age of these Japanese people, the what is called as life expectancy. It is called as life expectancy. What is the life expectancy, average life expectancy in India? Around some 68, 69 years. What is the average life expectancy in Japan? Minimum of 89 years. Just imagine, every Japanese fellow is going to live for almost all 89 years. That is what the life expectancy. When the life expectancy is such a huge 89 years, age-old population will be there. The issue is called as geriatrics. The geriatric problems will be there. Even in India, right now there was a research conducted, and in the government of India also wants to talk about the policy on the geriatrics. What do you mean by geriatrics? The age-old population problems. Whenever we need to frame any population policy, we need to take into consideration the age-old population also. Till recently, India was not bothered about. Why? Because the people after some 60, 65, they are dying. But right now, their lifespan started increasing because of the better health facilities. And when they cross 60 years of age, definitely they become dependent. And so the government needs to provide certain the facilities for those people, which is called as policy on geriatrics. 2 and 4 should be there as a condition. Yes, 2 and 4 should be there again. Now comes the other one. Which is the other one? Nigeria. African country. When it is African country, no need to think about. It is having high birth rates and high death rates. In the African countries, what is the general criteria? High birth rates, high death rates should be there. Yes, that is there. South Africa, again African country. Though it is African country, it is somewhat developed, but it is also having good death rates, good birth rates. Birth rates are good here, and so this cannot be the condition. What is the leftover? It is Italy. Therefore, the answer should be 1, 2, 4. If at all we think like South Africa, 2, 4 and South Africa is not connected. What is connected with the 2 and 4? We know 2 and 4 definitely. What is connected with the 2 and 4? 1 is connected. Therefore, the answer should be 1 to 4. Is that clear? This is what the way how we can arrive at, even if you don't know about this one. But the country like Italy is also having very low birth rates. The conservative country where the Roman Catholics are dominant there, yet see the birth rates are very low here. Right? This is what is there in the news. Then, after this one, consider the following current affairs. See the current affairs. Consider the following statement. Consider the following statements. Statement number 1, sewned pipeline. If you don't know what is this sewned pipeline, simply you need to keep the question aside. Right? What is this sewned pipeline? Sewned pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipment to Europe. The answer is perfectly, means the statement is perfectly correct. Then, sewned pipeline connects Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. Yes, the statement is correct, and the first statement is, both the statements are correct, and the first statement is explaining the, second statement is explaining the first statement. First of all, let us understand what we mean by this sewned pipeline and what is the significance of this one. Now see this one. If at all you are drawing the Western Asiatic region, suppose if this is the Arabian region, right? This is Saudi Arabia. This is the Mediterranean Sea. Here you can find the country called as Egypt. This is the area where you can find the Suez Canal. What is the importance of the Suez Canal? This is the area where you can find the Suez Canal, right? In this area, the Suez Canal, which is constructed artificially by the people for the transportation or the connectivity between the eastern countries towards the western world, right? It is through the Red Sea. This is called as the Red Sea, through which the people will be traveling and then they will be crossing the Suez Canal. They enter into the Mediterranean Sea. Once you are there in the Mediterranean Sea, you will be having accessibility towards the Europe as well as USA, crossing Atlantic Ocean, right? Now, what has happened recently, not recently, in fact, for the, some decades back, these people, the Western people, as they want more and more oil, instead of traveling like this one, if they take the containers and they dump the oil and they come like this one, they have to take a long route, or if they are coming from the Persian Gulf, see this one, if they are coming from the Persian Gulf, this is the Persian Gulf where you can find Iran, Iraq and all these, Kuwait, Bahrain and all these things, UAE. You need to enter like this one. Once you are entering here, there is a pipeline that was constructed in the Egypt connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the Persian Gulf, specifically for the oil and the natural gas export. Within no time, we need to supply more and more natural gas and the oil towards the Western European regions, meaning the European countries as well as the USA. This pipeline was constructed in the country called as Egypt. This is what the pipeline, the name of the pipeline is called as the sewned pipeline. This is the news. Answer the question. Sewned pipelines is a strategic route from the Persian Gulf, from the Persian Gulf to the, what is called, natural gas shipment to Europe, yes. Then sewned pipelines connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea, yes. Right? This is about the answer is should be, means what? The statement 2 is, 1 and 2 statements are both are correct. The second statement is supporting the first statement. Then consider the following statement. Again Red Sea. See the strategic location of this particular area. The Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form. What is this Red Sea? Where do you find it? Is in the Western Asia, right? West Asia. Any part, if at all you are talking about the regions in the western side, in the tropical areas, they have to be desertified. What is the concept? The western parts of the tropics have to be desertified. You talk about any hot desert of the world, all the hot deserts are located only in the western part of the world, right? Where is the Red Sea region? It is in the hot desert area, right? In the western part of Asia. The Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form. Yes, the answer is right. No water enters the Red Sea from rivers. In fact, there are no mighty rivers are there where they are perennial in nature. What do you mean by perennial? Flowing throughout the year. But there are certain small streams, seasonal streams are there. They will be flowing. And so, this particular statement, no water. What is the logic in UPSC? Remember this one. Any extreme statement. Understand this one. Any extreme statement. If there is an extreme statement, normally such extreme statements goes wrong. All the people of the world, all extreme statement. Then no water, extreme statement. Normally, whenever any extreme statement is given in the preliminary part as a statement, believe that 99% they will be going wrong. This is the wrong statement. Meaning what? Some seasonal streams are also there, and so no water enters should be wrong. Only answer is only one. Right? The next one. Consider the following statements. There is instability and worsening security situation in the Sahel region. What is the Sahel region? The Sahel region is just located to the south of Sahara. In the Africa, why there are so many questions? Did you notice this one? There are so many questions related to Africa. Why there are so many questions that are related to Africa? We are not writing African Civil Services examination. We are writing Indian Civil Service exam. Why there are so many questions with respect to Africa? In the future also, you need to focus more on the African region. That is what the clue that is given. But why Africa? Why not some other areas? See the one. Whenever you are talking about Africa, this is the area where the untapped resources are present. What is the emerging new market, emerging and the new markets for the future? It is Africa. And so, the government of India is also developing the ports in the western side of India. More and more ports in the western side of India in order to tap the resources of Africa. Is it clear? Where the future lies? The future not lies in the Europe. Europe already is a gone case. What is the future? Future is there in the African region. But what is the problem in Africa? The problem is given here. There is a instability. What type of instability? Political instability. And also worsening security issues. There is no guarantee for the life where the military governments are occupying the, what is called as they are going for the military coups. What do you mean by coup? Nothing but they are taking the power of democratic leaders into their control, called as military junta. Also, there are certain rebel groups are also there. Worsening security situation in the Sahel area. What are the countries that are present in the Sahel region? You can find the countries like Nigeria, Niger, Burkina Faso. All these countries. Mali country, the country is called as Mali. Larger country, yet it is not having any security issues. Is not having any proper security for the people. Right? People are feeling insecure. Instability is there. That is what the statement. The first statement is perfectly right. There has been military takeovers, coups in several countries of Sahel region in the recent past. Yes. And therefore, the answer should be first and second statements are correct. The second statement is explaining the one. Because of the military coups, the instability is there. Worsening conditions are there. Right? This is Africa and the instability with respect to the Sahel region. Need to know what is Sahel region. The Sahel region is exactly located to the south of Sahara Desert. Right? Then, consider the following statement. Statement 1. The atmosphere is heated. This is true geographical question where the concept oriented climatology question. Come on. See this one. The atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation. Is the statement correct? Whenever you are talking about the atmospheric heat, the gases in the atmosphere are heated more with what? The terrestrial long wave radiation, not with the solar shortcoming insolation, right? And so, the first statement itself is wrong. When the first statement itself is wrong, save your time. Don't read the second question, second statement. Because when the statement is wrong, The first statement is incorrect. Definitely second statement may be correct, but it is not our, no need to read that one. You need to save time and you need to go for D. Whenever the statement 1 is wrong, believe that the answer should be D. That's it. Because this is a very simple statement. The atmospheric heat is heated. Atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation. No. By terrestrial radiation. More by terrestrial radiation, less by the solar insolation. Therefore, this is wrong. Whenever it is wrong, the answer is D. Because there is no other, see the A, B, C, in no other statement saying that the statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 1 is correct. Where do you find statement correct, incorrect for the first statement? This is the only one, D. But here, let us read this one. Since we are in the practice, at the same time, we need to anticipate the questions in the future, right? See, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. What is a carbon dioxide? Is also a greenhouse gas. In fact, the largest greenhouse gas, right? What is a greenhouse gas? Which is having the ability to trap the heat energy. Carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, good absorbers of long wave radiation. Yes, whatever the heat that is emitted by the land, that is holded by whom? The carbon dioxide and the other gases. What are the other gases? Other gases like? You can find so many gases. Methane is there. You can find the other gases. Nitrous oxides are there. Right? All water vapor is there. All they will be holding the heat energy. That is what the statement. The statement second is correct. But the first statement is wrong. But in the exam hall, whenever the first statement is wrong, don't kill your time. Maybe second statement, third statement is there. Go directly to the first statement, and if it is incorrect, then give the answer as D. Right? Then, consider the following statement. Statement 1. Thickness of troposphere. When you see the troposphere, how the troposphere is an unevenly layered structure. Troposphere is an unevenly layered structure. The thickness of troposphere at the equator is much greater. Suppose if this is Earth, how the troposphere is? It is something like this one. It is more over equator. It is less over poles. Right? Thickness of troposphere at the equator is much greater as compared to poles. The statement is right. At the equator, heat is transported to greater heights by strong convectional current. Why the troposphere is very thick over the equator? Because the heat that is present at the equator, due to convective currents, it is extending to a greater heights. And so the troposphere is up to a maximum height over the equator. Therefore, the statement is also right. The first statement and second statement both are correct. The second statement is explaining the first statement. Right? This is again the concept. Then, consider the following. It is with respect to volcanism. The question is, they are asking about what are the products of volcanic eruption. Whenever there is a volcanic eruption, huge quantities of some hundreds of thousands of tons of gas will be there, dust will be there. These are the first two important ones. Then the other products like called as the superheated clastic. What do you mean by clastic? Clastic is nothing but broken piece of rock. Whenever the volcanism is about to be there, the rocks that are present in between the magma and the surface, the rocks breaks and they will be erupted out, which is called as pyro. What is the literal meaning of pyro? Superheated. What is clastic? Clastic is nothing but broken piece of rock. Superheated broken piece of rock material. This is what the pyroclastic material. Debris is nothing but the material, right? Pyroclastic, superheated rocky, broken rocky material is there. Yes, it will be there. Ash and dust, huge quantities, not 1-2 tons. Thousands and thousands of tons will be there. Nitrogen gases will be there. Sulfurous gases also will be there. All the products will be there. All they are called as the byproducts of volcanism. Is it clear? Therefore, the answer should be all 4. Then, which of the following countries are well known as the 2 largest cocoa producers? Cocoa. For what the cocoa is very, very important for? Making chocolates, right? For the chocolates, this is the raw product. Which countries are known for the cocoa production? It is Ghana. Remember this one, Ghana is the very, very important producer. Also, Cote d'Ivoire. In fact, the world's largest producer, these are the two world's largest producers, Cote d'Ivoire and the Ghana, meant for cocoa production. Then, with reference to Himalayan rivers joining Ganga downstream of Prayagraj from west to east, which of the following sequence is correct? See, this is the map-based question. You need to have the map in your mind. When you see the map like this one, this is the river called as Ganga river. This is the river Ganga. This is the Ganga river. The first river that is joining is called as Ram Ganga. Is called as Ram Ganga. See, these are the Himalayan rivers. The Himalayan rivers are joining the Ganga right from. This is Ganga river. This is Ram Ganga. Followed by Gomti. Followed by Ghagra. Followed by Gandak. Then followed by Kosi. This is what the order. Ram Ganga, Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak and Kosi. The order is very important. See, no need to by heart all these things. The moment once you visualize the things practically, as if you are moving in that area, if at all you are seeing the map, you should be seeing the pictures lively, like, first of all, we are moving from one area, from the Ganga side, as and when you are traveling from west to east, you will be coming across the first and foremost one is called as Ram Ganga. The Ram Ganga meets Ganga at a place called as Kanauj. Gomti meets the Ganga at a place called as Saidpur. What is the important city that is located on Gomti? Lucknow is the important city. Then Ghagra, which is very, very important. In fact, this is called as Karnali river in Nepal. The Ghagra river takes birth from Maptachungo glacier, which is very, very mighty river in Nepal, called as Karnali river. That river flows over the Indian plains. The smaller streams joins the Ghagra in the northern side. Very important small stream that joins Ghagra in the northern side is called as Sarayu river. On the banks of Sarayu, which mighty city is located? Ayodhya is located. See, each and every point is important. You need to know each and everything. Like Gandak again, Gandak also takes birth from the Nepal Himalayas. What is Gandak called as? Gandak is called as Narayani in Nepal. Gandak river is having the mighty tributary called as Burhi Gandak. Over the Burhi Gandak you can find the Kabarta lake, which happens to be the Oxbow lake, which is the only Ramsar wetland site of Bihar in that year, right? This is what the condition. And the Kosi considered as the sorrow of Bihar, right? This is the order. Is it clear? When it comes to the southern side, this is Yamuna. Further Yamuna, which rivers are joining Yamuna? One is called as Chambal, another one is called as Betwa, another one is called as Ken. Whereas there is a direct tributary to Ganga from the southern side called as Son river. Right? The Ganga bifurcates as one is Ganga, which is called as Padma in Bangladesh, another stream is called as Hooghly. Further Hooghly, there is a tributary called as Damodar. This is about the Ganga. You need to know there is no shortcut. You should be seeing the things as if you are got imprinted in your mind. The moment once you close your mind, it should be the Ganga river map should be there in your mind. Right? This is the condition. And so the answer should be, what is one? Gomti, Ghagra, Ganda, Kosi. This is the one. Which should come first? Gomti should come. Before Gomti, what should be there? Ram Ganga should be there. Right? This is about the question. The next one. Consider the following statement. Rainfall is one of the reasons for weathering of the rocks. Is rainfall a reason? What do you mean by weathering of the rock? What do you mean by weathering first of all? Because of the weather conditions. Exposing of the rocks to the weather conditions. What are the weather conditions? Sunlight, rainfall, fast blowing winds, gases of the atmosphere. All that are the weather conditions, right? Because of the weather conditions, what is happening to the rock? The rock is getting disintegrated, which is called as weathering, right? Weathering is rainfall is one of the reason for weathering. Yes, is it the reason? Yes, it is the reason. Answer is, the statement is right. Then, rainwater contains carbon dioxide in solution. See, rainwater is considered as a pure distilled water, where at the point where the cloud is dropping or releasing the raindrop. But when the raindrop is traveling right from the cloud towards the surface, in the journey, it has to interact with the number of gases, specifically the gas called as carbon dioxide. Whenever the distilled pure water is interacting with the carbon gases, carbon dioxide, some of the carbon dioxide enters into this one and makes this particular raindrop slightly acidic. What is that acid that is developing in the raindrop? It is called as carbonic acid. Because of carbonic acid, you can find the dissolution of number of rocky minerals, right? Therefore, the statement second is also true. The third statement, rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen. This is where the trap is. Whenever the student in the exam hall already he is there in the tension mode, one is he can believe that yes, because of the interaction, maybe in the classes will be explaining the raindrop interacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide and turns slightly acidic. That is true everywhere, that is given, and so they will be believing the statement 2 also right. But carbon dioxide is there, how comes oxygen? Either carbon dioxide should be there, oxygen should be there. That is what the people will be feeling. They don't want to club both carbon dioxide and oxygen at one place. And they will be choosing either 2 or statement 3, which is again wrong. The raindrop is rich in oxygen, right? The raindrop is very rich in oxygen. Therefore, raindrop contains atmospheric oxygen. Yes, this statement is also right. Right. Therefore, what should be the answer? The statement 2 and 3 are the perfect explanations of statement 1. The answer should be A. Both the second and third statement are right and both are explaining the statement 1. Right? This is the answer for the question with respect to weathering. Then comes to the next one. Consider the following countries. Are we following? Yes, the same thing. Yes, come on. Consider the following countries. Finland, Norway, Greenland, Germany, Russia. How many of the above countries have a border with the North Sea? Again, map based. Without having the knowledge of the map, if you don't know where is North Sea located, simply without a killing time, you jump to the next question. If at all you are having the knowledge of the atlas, then you start thinking about this one. Don't take a wild guess. Right? Where is North Sea? North Sea is there between UK and Norway. In fact, the most saline water body of that latitude is the North Sea. And what North Sea is known for? The North Sea is known for rich natural gas, oil. Oil is present, natural gas is there. Also, what are the other current important developments? There is a concept called as carbon sequestration. You might have come across in the ecology and environment. What do you mean by carbon sequestration? Absorbing the carbon dioxide or catching the carbon dioxide and storing the carbon dioxide into the deep inner layers. North Sea is known as the reserve for the capturing of the carbon dioxide. Who is supplying the carbon dioxide into the deep underwaters of the North Sea? UK. Right? These are all the current related developments with respect to North Sea. Now see what are the countries? One is UK, another one is Norway. Norway is there for sure. Where is Finland? Finland is there inside. Right? Let me draw the picture. If at all you are seeing this picture, like this is Europe, this is UK, this is Norway, right? This is Norway, this is Sweden, this is Finland. You can find Finland here. This is a country called as Finland. This is a country called as Russia, right? This is North Sea. It is something like this one. This is Germany, this is France, this is Belgium, this is Netherlands, this is Denmark. Right? France is having the connectivity with the North Sea. Belgium is having the connectivity with the North Sea. Netherlands is having the connectivity with the North Sea. Germany is having connectivity with the North Sea. Denmark is also, this is the Denmark. Denmark is also having connectivity with the North Sea. Also, Norway is having connectivity, UK is having the connectivity. Now see the one. Finland, no, it is not having connectivity. Germany, yes, it is having connectivity. Norway, it is having connectivity. Russia is not having connectivity. Therefore, the answer should be 2 and 3. Oh, it's not 2 and 3, only 2 countries are having the connectivities. Always map should be there in your mind. If the map is not there in your mind, let me put the question like this one. See, all you people know the India map, right? Is Punjab and Haryana neighboring state? Are they neighboring states? Yes, they are neighboring states. Now, if the question in the UPSC is asked like this one, like what is the question? Haryana and Uttarakhand are the neighboring states. Are Haryana and Uttarakhand are the neighboring states? Now you start thinking. See this one. You know India, you have seen India right from your word, you have seen the map number of times, and whenever you have selected your career as UPSC and you have read about Haryana, Uttarakhand and about India more, now you are in a confusion. Is Haryana and Uttarakhand are having a common boundary? Doubt will be there. Then Tripura and Mizoram, are they neighboring states? Again, doubt comes into picture. Odisha and Telangana, are they neighboring states? That is what called as command and atlas. If at all you are having the command and atlas, all these things will be very easy. Sir, how to get the command? Very simple. Take a big chart, the big atlas of world as well as India. Keep both sides of your room. One side India map, another side world map. Every day, how many continents are there? 7 continents are there. How many days are there in a week? 7 days are there. Sunday only North America. For just 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Every day, the moment once you get out of your bed, 10 to 15 minutes, look at only North America on Sunday. Monday, only South America. Tuesday, only Europe. Wednesday, only Africa. If you practice like this one for 1 month, entire world will be under your control. Just imagine. World will be under your control. What a wonderful statement. Right? This is what you need to do. The practice. Always practice. Don't think that, okay, it will be like that. It is there like this one. No. The questions are specifically asked. Probably the next year, the questions can be on Caspian Sea. What are the countries that are in and around the Caspian Sea? Which of the following countries are around the Caspian Sea? Which countries are having the boundary with the Black Sea? Which countries are having the boundary with the Aral Sea? Why Aral Sea? Because Aral Sea is in the news recently. The sea, which is huge water body, got shrinked out. And so, which are the countries? The question can be asked like this one. Which countries are bordering the Baikal Lake? You should be knowing all these things, right? Then, again, the Indian part. Waterfalls, state or region, river. Where do you find Dhuandhar waterfalls? Dhuandhar waterfalls, a magnificent waterfall, is there on the river Narmada. Where is Narmada? In the Madhya Pradesh. But here it is given as Malwa Plateau. Therefore, here in fact Dhuandhar waterfalls are being created by Narmada at a place called as Jabalpur of Madhya Pradesh. Where is Jabalpur? Where is Malwa? They are far away. Therefore, this is wrong. This statement is wrong. The first one, it should not be Malwa, it should be Madhya Pradesh or maybe Jabalpur. Right? Then Hundru waterfalls in the Chotanagpur region on the Suvarnareka river. Suvarnareka river is there on the Chotanagpur. Hundru is also there on the Chotanagpur. Probably this is correct. This is how you need to get some rough idea. Then Girsopa waterfall, nothing but part and parcel of Jog Falls. Jog Falls is there with respect to Western Ghats. Yes, they are there on the Western Ghats. In the district called as Shimoga of Karnataka. On the river called as, what is the name of the river? The name of the river is called as Sharavati river, not Netravati. Right? Therefore, this is wrong, only one is right. Right? See, always map. Map makes you a greater personality. Right? Now, the next one. with respect to the mountains. Central Asia. Where do you find Central Asia? Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, what is this one? Turkmenistan and all these things, right? Central Asia. Then Vosges Mountains. Vosges Mountains are present in Germany. Vosges of Germany. Vosges are fold mountains. Are these Vosges are the fold mountains? They are the block mountains. Whereas Europe, yes, in Europe you can find the Alps mountains. Alps mountains are fold mountains, not the block mountains. This is wrong. This is wrong. North America, you can find Appalachian mountains. Yes, fold mountains. Yes, the Appalachians are the fold mountains. South America, you can find Andes mountains. Yes, they're also the fold mountains. Yes, they're also right. Only two statements are right. Only two statements are right. Right? See, again, you need to have the concept, at the same time you need to have some other information with you, right? Then, Doni Polo Airport, Kushinagar International Airport, Vijayawada International Airport. In the recent past, which of the above have been constructed as a greenfield airport? What do you mean by greenfield airport? What do you mean by brownfield airport? Whenever the airport or the seaport is constructed right from the scratch, as there was nothing, a plain area was there earlier, maybe the agriculture land, maybe the plain barren land, right? From the scratch, if at all you are constructing such projects are called as greenfield projects. Maybe the seaports, maybe the airports. But whenever you are talking about the construction of the projects, where already they are there, if at all you are modifying that one, if at all you modify that one, it is called as brownfield projects. Which is a greenfield projects? This is the project that is present in Arunachal Pradesh, the airport. Kushinagar in the northern Bihar. Vijayawada International. In fact, this Vijayawada International Airport already was there. Therefore, this is not the international greenfield airport. These two are the international greenfield airports. 1 and 2 should be the greenfield airports. Right? Again, current affairs. All it is depending upon the current affairs. Right? With reference to water vapor, which of the following statements are correct? It is a gas. Yes, water vapor is a gas. The amount of which decreases with altitude. Yes, as and when you are going vertically up, forget about water vapor. Every gas is keep on declining. Therefore, the statement is right. Its percentage is maximum at the poles. Where do you find water vapor? Whenever the water gets evaporates, there you can find the water vapor. In the polar areas, what type of temperatures are there? Very less temperature. Whenever the temperature is less evaporation. Therefore, it is minimum at the poles, not maximum. Therefore, second statement is wrong. The first statement is right. See how simple question was this one, right? Then consider the following description. Annual and diurnal range of temperature is low. What do you mean by annual and diurnal range? The difference between the maximum temperature of summer and the minimum temperature of the winter is called as annual range. If the same difference is calculated, the difference between the maximum temperature of the day and the minimum temperature of the day is called as diurnal temperature. Both they are having less range of temperature is there. Where do you find such a less range of temperature? Basically in the temperate regions, not in the tropical areas. In the tropical areas, you can find the range of temperature is very, very high. Where do you find the less range of temperature? Basically in the temperate regions, right? Therefore, the answer should be related to the temperate regions, not the tropical areas. Then, precipitation occurs throughout the year. In which type of climatic conditions the precipitation occurs throughout the year? British type of climate. In the climatology, you will come across British type of climate. Also, the Laurentian type of climate. The precipitation is throughout the year. Meaning what? At least one day in a month, you should be receiving the rainfall. In the case of British type of climatic condition, what type of, when do you find more rainfall? Winter rainfall is high. Whereas in the case of Laurentian, you can find summer rainfall is high. But the rainfall is throughout the year, right? This is what the precipitation is there throughout the year. Means what? Temperate region, either British or Laurentian. Then precipitation varies between 50 to 250. 50 centimeters to 250 centimeters is the variation. Meaning what? It is along the coastal areas. And so, equatorial is a tropical, no. China, no. Humid, subtropical is not tropical. I am talking about temperate. This is the only one which is related to temperate one. Therefore, the answer should be marine west coast, not the east coast. When we say it is the China type, China also comes under the temperate region, but it is in the east coast, but this is the marine west coast. Basically, the British type of climatic condition, right? This is the British type. Then, with reference to Coriolis force, which of the following statements are correct? What is Coriolis force? The rotational force of the earth. Because of the rotational force of the earth, where the apparent deflection will be there for the objects. It increases with the increasing velocity, absolutely right. More the velocity, more the deflection. Less the velocity, less the deflection is. The next one, it is maximum at the poles. In fact, the Coriolis force is having a direct proportion to the sign of the latitude. More the sign of the latitude, more the Coriolis force. Where do you find more sign of the latitude? Polar, 90 degrees. What is the sign of the latitude in the equatorial? 0. And so, the Coriolis force is 0 along the equatorial region. A direct question. Therefore, it is maximum at the poles, opposite the equator. Perfectly correct. It increases with increasing velocity. Yes, both 1 and 2 are correct. On June 21st, what do you mean by June 21st? The sunlight is falling perpendicular over Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere, right? What is this June 21st? Is nothing but summer solstice. Whenever it is summer solstice, sunlight is falling perpendicular over Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere. Whenever it is on the Tropic of Cancer, you can find the sunlight in the northern hemisphere up to the polar regions, and the darkness will be there. Nothing but the pitch dark night time will be there in the southern hemisphere. Now the question. Which of the following latitudes experience sunlight more than 12 hours? Which part should be receiving more than 12 hours of sunlight? Only in the northern hemisphere, right? From where to where? From Tropic of Cancer and above, right? Equator, no. Tropic of Capricorn, no. Where is Tropic of Capricorn? Southern hemisphere, darkness is there. Tropic of Cancer, yes. Arctic Circle, where is Arctic Circle? In the northern hemisphere, not Antarctic Circle. And so these two, 2 and 4 should be the answer, 2 and 4, right? See, you need to know the apparent shift of the sunlight, how the shift of the sunlight is happening, right? Then, one of the following regions has the world's largest tropical peatland. See the one. Whatever the question that was given in the last year, there is a connectivity to this one. What was the report? The report of UNFCCC says that, the report of IPCC says that the peatlands needs to be protected. When the peatlands needs to be protected, they are talking in terms of what is called as the climate change, global warming, the releasing of more and more greenhouse gases. But the question was asked in a different way. What is the question? One of the following region has the world's largest tropical peatland, which holds about 3 years worth of global carbon emissions. Whatever the entire world is emitting the carbon dioxide, same will be emitted from that peatland, right? From fossil fuels, and the possible destruction of which can exert detrimental effect on the global climate. Which of the following denotes the region? What should be the area? Why only Congo Basin was asked there? What is the answer here? Congo Basin. Could understand? See the connectivity. The repetition is there, but in a different way. The people are not in a position to understand whether the question is repeated or not, right? This is what the Congo Basin. For that matter, all these other areas are also having the peat reserves. But which is the area where you can find the largest peatlands? It is the Congo Basin. What is a peatland? First of all, the waterlogged condition should be there. On that waterlogged condition, the organic matter like leaves, litter, also the broken branches of trees, or the dead plants and dead animals, all they will be following. All they should be falling on this one. Whenever they are falling, they need to be decomposed, but the bacterial action is very less because the rate of falling is much more than the rate of decomposition. Is it clear? This is about the one. Then consider the following statement. See the statement. Giant stars live much more longer than the dwarf stars. First of all, understand this one. The lifespan of the star, every star will be taking birth in the nebula, right? Whenever the material, the dust and the gases, they spiral to a common center, they get fused, energy get fused and turns into a star. This is how the stars takes birth. Where the stars die, again in the nebula. Whenever the star takes birth by fusing the material that is present in and around the nebula, fusing forms a star. After the death, again the material will be scattered into the nebula. This is how the life cycle is happening. The material gets concentrated to form a star. After death, again the material gets scattered. Again it will be spiraling to form a new star. Right? The lifespan of the star depends upon the size of the star. The lifespan of the star depends upon the size of the star. The large star, in order to glow along the surface area, as the surface area is more, it has to utilize more energy. Whenever it is utilizing more energy, the energy gets exhausted very quickly. And so the large stars are having less lifespan. Whereas small stars, as they are glowing slowly, as the surface area is less, they need to utilize the energy very less. And so the small stars can live for some billions of years, whereas large stars can live for only few thousands of years. What is the statement? Large stars lives much longer than dwarf means what? Small stars. The first statement itself is wrong. Whenever the first statement is wrong, the answer should be D. No need to read the second statement, right? Is it clear? For here, let us read this one. Compared to the small star, large stars have greater rate of nuclear reaction. Yes, they are having greater nuclear reaction, but of what use? The answer should be D, right? This is about the Prelims 24. Coming to the latest one, Prelims 2025. In fact, the continuum, whenever you are seeing the continuum, 23 will be having a impact, a replica on 25, 24 will be having the impact on 26. You need to have that understanding, like, immediate next year the overlappings are very less, but more overlappings will be there from the previous years, right? Prelims 2025. Good number of questions were asked, almost some 20 questions were asked. Let us start with this one. Scientific studies suggest that shift is taking place in the Earth's rotation and axis. Yes, Earth's rotation and axis is keep on shifting. In fact, there is a concept called as Milankovitch cycles, where he is talking about extensively the shift of the Earth's rotation, axis and all these things, right? Solar flares and associated coronal mass ejections bombarded the Earth's outermost atmosphere with tremendous amounts of energy. Yes. What do you mean by coronal mass ejections? Along the surface of the sun, which is called as the ring of the sun, called as the corona. The mass ejections are emitted out from the corona, which is called as the coronal mass ejections. Then the last statement, as the Earth's polar ice melts, the water tends to move towards the equator. Yes, as and when the water is melting, say for example, Antarctica water is melting, where the water is coming to? The water is coming towards the lower latitudes, right? This is what, all the statements are right, and the second and the third statements are the explanation to the statement one, right? And because of these things, what is happening? The rotation and the axis are changing. Then, with reference to the planet Earth, consider the following. Rainforest produces more oxygen than the produced by the oceans. Are the oceans are producing the oxygen? That's a question. Rainforest definitely will be producing, but who will be producing more oxygen? Is the oceans, right? Marine plankton. What is marine plankton? The plankton, marine phytoplankton. What do you mean by phytoplankton? Nothing but the phyto, nothing but plant. Plankton, nothing but the food for the fish, right? Marine, nothing but water body. Within the water body, there are certain plant products where they are performing the photosynthesis. What is the outproduct of, or what is the outcome of the photosynthesis? Oxygen. Therefore, in the oceans, the marine phytoplanktons are producing more and more oxygen, right? And photosynthesis bacteria produces about 50% of the world's oxygen. Then, well oxygenated surface water contains several folds higher oxygen. Yes, again the statement. Well oxygenated surface waters contain several folds of higher oxygen than that of the atmosphere or atmospheric air. Whenever you are talking about the water, whenever there is a dissolved oxygen, then it is only the dissolved oxygen which is giving life for the marine species. Therefore, the statement 1 and 2 are perfectly right. But when it comes to the oxygenated surface, why only along the surface? It is not as greatly available as that of the oxygen that is present in the atmosphere. Therefore, 1 and 2 statements are correct, right? Then the third one, consider the following countries. Again, map based. What is the question? Andes mountains pass through how many of the above countries? Andes mountains are there. Is passing through how many countries? What are the countries here? Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Venezuela. Andes mountains are passing through which state, which countries? What are the countries? You can find the Andes, Venezuela is there. Ecuador, on the Ecuador you can find the very great lake called as on the top of the Ecuador, means what? Andes mountains are there. The Andes are present right on the equator, very tall. Therefore, Ecuador is there, Colombia is there, Brazil is there, Bolivia is there. What is not there? Is Brazil is there? Is Brazil is having the Andes mountains? It is in the eastern part. Therefore, which countries? Bolivia is there, Colombia is there, Ecuador is there, Venezuela is there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 should be the answer. Only 4 should be the answer. Yes. Yes. Yes, go ahead. Ocean is producing more oxygen. Rainforest produce more oxygen than that of the oceans. The wrong statement. Okay. Acha, okay. Maybe selecting of the one is wrong, right? What should be the answer? Then should be only 2 should be the answer, right? Only 2 should be the answer, right? In fact, ocean produces more, put it like this one. Ocean produces more oxygen than that of the rainforest, right? Rainforest is having very, very rich forested forest area where the photosynthesis is happening, but marine phytoplankton is producing more and more oxygen. What is the product of photosynthesis? Oxygen is the product of the photosynthesis, right? Then, consider the water bodies. Let us see the water bodies. Where do you find the water bodies? Lake Tanganyika, Africa. Where is this one? Is there in Africa? Tanganyika Lake is in Africa. Then Tonle Sap. Where is Tonle Sap? The Southeast Asia. In fact, one of the largest lake where it is acting as a regulator. What do you mean by regulator? Regulator for the river called as Mekong River. The river Mekong is flowing into this particular lake and it is regulating. Whenever the water volume is huge, it can hold. Whenever the water is coming through the Mekong is less, it will be regulating, it will be making the water to flow into the Mekong, right? The Tonle Sap is a very important lake. Then Patos Lagoon, that is located along the coast of Brazil, right? Through which of, through how many of these the equator passes? Where is equator? Where is this water body? See the question, from where to where the question was connected. Through which of these water bodies the equator is passing? In fact, equator is not passing through none of these water bodies. But which makes you to think in a different way. Not just the water bodies you need to identify, you need to find even latitudes. You need to find specifically the important latitudes like Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. Maybe in the next exam, they may be asking not the equator, maybe Tropic of Cancer or maybe Tropic of Capricorn, right? It is the hint given by UPSC to the students saying that in the future where we are going to ask about the other latitudes also, the other important latitudes like Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, also the other one like Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle, right? This can be the one. Then, which of the following are the evidences of the phenomena of the continental drift? What are the evidences for the continental drift? Geological evidences, climatic evidences, then there is called as paleoclimatic evidences, also biological evidences. There are so many such evidences. What do you mean by geological evidences? Evidences like the rocky material. The belt of ancient rocks of Brazil coast matches with that of the Western Africa. Whenever the continents got broken from the Western Africa side, on the other side, what is there? The Brazilian highlands. In fact, some of the rivers that has flown from the Brazil entered when the land was connected, the rivers flowed over the Western African side. And therefore, you can find the deposition of the gold in the Ghana, and all these things, the placer gold deposits are found. From where the rivers are flowing from the Brazilian side. Therefore, they are connected once upon a time, but right now they got separated for some thousands of miles together. Therefore, this statement is right. The gold, see again, the gold deposits of Ghana are derived from the Brazilian plateau. The rivers that were flowing right from the Brazilian plateau flowed over the African region in the Ghana when the two continents were laying side by side. Yes, the statement is correct. These are all the things that are given by Alfred Wegener, right? The third one, the Gondwana system of sediments from India is known to have its counterpart in 6 different land masses of southern hemisphere, like they are present in Madagascar, they are present in Australia, they are present in South America, they are present in Antarctica even. These are the Gondwana rock systems that are found in Africa, Madagascar, Australia, then South America, and also parts of Antarctica, right? This is how the connectivity is given. Therefore, the statement 1, 2, and 3, all the statements are correct. Is not there or what? All the statements are correct? 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is here, right? All the statements are correct. This is how the evidence of the continental drift is done. Then consider the following statements. The amount of dust particles in the atmosphere is more in subtropical and temperate areas than in the equatorial and polar regions. Let us put in a different way. What is a dust particle? When the dust particle can be there? Whenever the soil moisture is less, when the rain is not proper, then what happens? The rocky material on the surface, it erupt out because of weathering conditions, because of breaking into pieces and pieces. Whenever there is a good soil moisture, you cannot find much dust. Put like this one in our known areas, like eastern India, where the states like Assam, Bengal, western India, the states like Gujarat and Rajasthan. Where do you find more dust particles? Where do you find more dust particles? In the western India, not in the eastern India. Eastern India can find the clear vision. If you see the things in with our naked eye, it will be clear. Why? Because the dust got settled because of the greater rainfall and the proper moisture for the soil. Whereas in the western side, the vision will not be clear, it will be glazy. Why? Because the dust is there in the atmosphere. Between the object and you, the huge dust particles are there. Whenever the dust particles are there, you need to protect your body. And so the people are having the culture of wearing pagadis. Why only pagadis in the western India? Because of dust. Whereas in the eastern India, no need to wear pagadi. Why? Clear air. There is less dust particles. Now see here, the amount of dust particles in the atmosphere, more in subtropical and temperate. Temperate regions are known for the greater rainfall, at the same time good moisture, less disturbance is there, and so than the equatorial in the polar. In equatorial in the polar regions, what happens? You can find polar more moisture, equatorial more moisture. Therefore, the statement is wrong. Whenever the first statement is wrong, where do you find? Is the amount of dust particles in the atmosphere is more in? Yes, more in. The statement is right, right? Is more, not less. Where do you find less? Equatorial and polar region. The statement is right. The second statement, subtropical and temperate areas have less dry winds. Subtropical and temperate has less dry winds. Yes, because of having less dry winds, what is happening there? They are having more dust particles than the equatorial and the polar region. Fine. This is the statement. Means what? The first statement is right. The second statement, subtropical and temperate areas have less dry winds. Yes, they are having less dry winds. Meaning what? More moist winds. This also, they are having less dry winds. This is also right statement. First statement is perfectly right. Equatorial region, more rainfall. Polar region, more moisture that is present there. Therefore, the dust is very less in these areas than that of the other areas. The statement is right. The subtropical and the temperate areas. Where do you find subtropical and the temperate regions have less dry winds? Yes, the statement is also right. The less dry winds are there. More, what do you mean by less dry winds? The dry winds are less means what? Moist winds are more. Let me let you think practically. What do you mean by less dry winds? What do you mean by less dry winds? Where the more moist winds should be there. What do you mean by more? Whenever most moist winds are there, what happens? When more moist winds are there, you need to have deposition of the dust particles on the ground. Therefore, what should be the answer? What should be the answer? Whenever you are thinking practically like this one, come and practice. What should be the answer? Whenever there are less dry winds. where the dry winds are less. What is the meaning of less dry winds? More moist winds. Whenever the moist winds are more, means what good rainfall should be there? When there is good rainfall, is it the good rainfall area? No, subtropical region, subsidence, the air subsidence is there. Whenever the air subsidence is there, the rainfall is less. When the rainfall is less, definitely you can find more dust particles, right? Therefore, the second statement is wrong, the first statement is right, right? Then, consider the following statement. That's why, whenever you are having the concept in the mind, you can apply the concept. Always try to apply it. Don't go directly with this, whatever the answers given by any of the institution or some of the things. You need to have your own understanding, right? Now, come on, you need to explain. See, right from here, it is you need to play the major role. Come on. In Jan, the northern hemisphere, the isotherms bent equatorward while crossing the landmass and the poleward while crossing the oceans. What is the meaning of this one? Come on, let us show this one. Understand the concept. Once you are there, once you are having the clarity in the concept, then you can understand I can give the answer. Suppose if this is the landmass, put like this one. This is a water body, right? Take only one continent, or if at all you are not feeling good with the continent, put as only the landmass and the water mass. You can understand in a vague way like this one. 1 second. Let me put the continent like this one. Whatever the one, if at all you are convenient with this one or you are convenient with this one, you imagine. But understanding the concept is important. This is water. Everywhere you can find the water. Now this is summer in the northern hemisphere. The question is with respect to the northern hemisphere. This is northern hemisphere. Summer. What do you mean summer? Where the sunlight is falling perpendicularly over the landmass. When the sunlight falls perpendicularly over the landmass, what is the specific heat of the landmass? The specific heat is high. The temperatures will be high. Within no time. What do you mean by specific heat? The time taken by the body to get heated up. In order to increase 1 degree temperature on the landmass, how much time it takes? How much time it takes on the water mass? That is what the specific heat, right? Which body will be taking more time to heat? Water body will be taking more time to heat. Which body will be taking less time to heat? It is the landmass. Clear? Now, whenever the sun rays are falling perpendicularly here, temperature here, say it is 30 degrees centigrade on the equator. What type of temperature should be present here on the landmass and what type of temperature here will be on the water mass? Where do you find more temperatures? If the sunlight is falling perpendicularly in the northern hemisphere, you can find high temperature here. The temperatures will be high here, whereas the temperatures will be lower here. Why the temperatures are lower here? So, though the same insolation is happening on both the landmass and the water mass, you can find less temperature, you can find more temperature. Because it is taking more time to heat, it is taking less time to heat. Now, if I draw the isotherms, what are isotherms? What are isotherms? Isotherms are the lines connecting the places of equal temperature. Say the temperature here is 28 degrees centigrade. Say for example like this one. Where do you find the temperature of 28 degrees centigrade? Close to the equatorial region, 28 degrees centigrade. Here this is the latitude. This is the latitude. Maybe the latitude of 23.5 degree. What is the temperature here? 28 degrees centigrade. Where do you find the temperature? 28 in the water body, somewhat close to the equatorial region. At this area, whenever the temperature here on the landmass is 28, because of lower temperature, it may be some 25 degrees centigrade. Why? Because the water body takes more time to heat. Is that clear? When the sun rays are falling more on the landmass takes very less temperature, less time to heat, and so the temperature is 28 degrees centigrade. When it is 28 degrees centigrade, here, as the water mass is taking more time to heat, the temperature should be somewhat less. Now, whenever I want to show 25 degrees isotherm, where 25 degrees isotherm will be present? Somewhere in the upper reaches. Somewhere in the upper reaches means what? Land is in the other latitude. Maybe this is 30 degrees latitude, or maybe 40 degrees latitude. The temperatures here are less. Now, whenever I want to draw the isotherm should be like this one. If this is the isotherm 25, 25, like this one. 28 degree latitude, if at all I want to show 20 degrees latitude, it should be like this one, 28 degrees latitude. Where the isotherms are bending towards the equator, over the water body. Where the isotherms are bending towards the polar region, over the landmass. Got the point? Whenever the same temperatures are there, but two different water bodies are there, or two different bodies are there. Suppose if this is, let me put one more. This is the landmass. When the temperatures are one and the same, which will be having more temperature? This will be having more temperature, this will be having less temperature. Therefore, the isotherms, whenever you are drawing the isotherms, say the isotherm of 20 degrees centigrade. When the isotherm of 20 degrees we want to draw, in the landmass you can find more temperature, therefore it will be more than 20 degrees centigrade, and so the isotherms move towards the polar region, whereas in the water body they move towards the equatorial region. This is what called as the changes that are happening in the isotherms. Based on this one, the question was asked. Come on, let us see the question. See the questions that are there. In the northern isotherms, in the January, what is Jan? Cold era, nothing but cold season. What we have explained? In the summer season. In the summer season, the isotherms are moving towards the northern side on the landmass. Whereas in the water body, they are coming towards the equator. But now, it is January. What is Jan? Nothing but cold season. During the winter season, the opposite happens. In the northern hemisphere, the isotherm bends equatorial world while crossing the landmass. They are bending towards the equatorial world. Whereas in the polar region, they cross over the oceans. Why? Because ocean water is still warm, even though it is January. Even though it is Jan, it will be in opposite. What I have explained is in the summer. But here, the question asked is the winter. In Jan, the air over the oceans is warmer. Is it true? And than the over the landmass in the northern hemisphere. Yes. Why? Because as the water body is still warm, the air over the water body is still warm. That is what the answer. Both the statements are right. The statement 2 is supporting the statement 1. Right? In the context of effect on water, on rocks, chalk is known as a very permeable rock. What do you mean by chalk rock? Chalk rock is a sedimentary rock. It is highly permeable, nothing but porous. All the pores are there, and so the water percolation is taking place. In the context of effect of water on rocks, chalk is known as a very permeable rock, whereas clay is known as the quite impermeable. What is clay? Where the granules of the clay particles are very closely packed together. When they are closely packed, the water percolation is very slow. Whereas whenever the pores are there, meaning what, the granule and the granule are having wide space, you can find the percolation of the water quickly. And so clay is known as quite an impermeable and least permeable rock. Yes, the statement is right. Just imagine like this one. Have you ever did, in your childhood days, you might have constructed the idols with the clay. If at all you are pouring water, the water will not percolate into the deep inner layers quickly. Because as the clay particles are closely associated with each other, they stop the water percolation in the inner layers. Whereas chalk piece, if at all you are dipping the chalk piece in the water, immediately the water enters into the chalk piece, meaning what, the pores are there, and so you can find more and more percolation in the chalk. Chalk is porous and hence absorbs water. Why it is happening? The chalk is porous. What do you mean by porous? As there is a gap between the granule and the granule, therefore it is porous. Both the statements are right, and the first statement is supporting the second statement is supporting the first statement. Without the atmosphere, temperature would be well below freezing point. This is a tricky question. Now tell me. It all depends upon your imagination. Without atmosphere, say for example, there is no atmosphere, there is no atmospheric gases. The temperature would be well below the freezing point. Temperature will be well below the freezing point. And so, if the atmosphere is not there, what happens? Do you know? The nights will be in a frozen condition. If the nights are in a frozen condition, when the earth is rotating like this one, this side is the sun, where it is called as day, other side is called as night, where the sun rays are falling. During the daytime, the freezing takes place, and during the night time, the formation of the ice happens. Whenever the ice is forming continuously in the night time and melting of the ice takes place in the daytime, melting and freezing, it won't create greater life on the earth's surface. It's all because of the atmosphere, where atmosphere is acting as a blanket for the earth. Because of this blanketing nature, the nights are not in a frozen. Whatever the absorption that is taking place in the daytime will be preserved in the night time. And so atmosphere is acting as a blanket, as a blanket for the earth. Whereas if the atmosphere is not there, there is no blanket. When there is no blanket, what happens? Without atmosphere, temperatures would be below freezing point everywhere on the surface. Is it everywhere on the earth's surface? It is only in the night time on the earth's surface. But whereas in the daytimes, what happens? You can find thawing of the ice, nothing but the melting of the ice. So everywhere statement is wrong there. Heat absorbed and trapped by the atmosphere maintains our planet's average temperature. Perfectly correct. The second statement is right. Atmospheric gases like carbon dioxide and particularly good at absorbing and trapping the radiation. Yes, this is also statement right. But the first statement is wrong. Not everywhere. When we say everywhere, it is an extreme statement. Just now we came across one conclusion. Whenever there is an extreme statement, 99% it is going wrong. And so the first statement is wrong. Second and third statement should be right. Answer should be D. Right? See, this is how we can come to the conclusion. Then consider the following statement about turmeric. This again the factual information. Whenever you are reading the magazines like Yojana, Kurukshetra, then you can answer such type of questions. India is the largest producer and exporter of turmeric in the world. More than 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in India. Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are the major producing states. All the statements are very much true. In fact, Telangana, Maharashtra are the major producers of turmeric. The people are having the tradition of applying the turmeric on their body day in, day out. Right? Because as they are produced more on these areas, and so they are utilizing these things. Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, the second ranking. Means what? First are Telangana and Maharashtra. The next is Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. These are the four states they are producing turmeric on a large scale. Then, artificial ways of causing rainfall to reduce pollution makes use of what they are talking about. They are talking about the aerosol. In order to have the artificial rainfall, you need to have the cloud. When the cloud can be there only whenever there is a nucleus in the cloud. What is that nucleus? Nothing but aerosol. What type of aerosols? Silver iodine is the best example. In fact, iodine is the one which is best example for the nucleus to act as an aerosol. Silver iodine along with the potassium iodine are the best aerosols for creating artificial rainfall. In the case of cloud seeding, recently the Delhi government planned to go for the cloud seeding to reduce the pollution here in Delhi. In order to reduce the pollution, what happened? They have planned for what is called as the cloud seeding, but fortunately or unfortunately it didn't happen, right? But there are certain states in the southern India where the people will be going for cloud seeding. This is called as artificial rainfall. What is the nucleus? Nucleus is the silver iodine. Remember this one, along with the potassium iodine. Then INSTC, International North-South Transport Corridor. Very, very important transport corridor. In fact, in our classes, we explain this one good number of times. Without the Atlas knowledge, you cannot understand this one. Right from Bombay, in fact, Russian government has sent two trains full of coal to India through this International North-South Transport Corridor, which is bypassing the Suez Canal. Bombay to the Chabahar port of Iran, from Chabahar port of Iran towards the Azerbaijan. From there, you can move towards directly Moscow. On one side, Azerbaijan is there, other side of the Caspian Sea, you can find Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan. And above the North Caspian Sea, you can find Moscow. Directly can reach Moscow. From Moscow, two trains came to India recently, right? See, this is the one where it is through India to Central Asia to Europe, not Europe. Yes, India to Central Asia to Europe means what? On the other side, via Iran. India to Central Asia via China is not China. India to Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia doesn't comes into picture. India to Europe. Europe means what? Nothing but Russia through Azerbaijan. See this one. One is Azerbaijan, other one is Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is there in the Central Asia. Central Asia is Azerbaijan is there. Both they are there. A and D are there. But India to Europe is not to Central Asia. India to Europe through Azerbaijan. Meaning what? If I draw the picture, it will be something like this one. If I show this picture, suppose see this one. This is what the India. Then this is one. Whenever you want to supply something to Russia, say it is Russia, Moscow. Till now, what we are doing, what is the route we are following? We need to travel like this one into the Red Sea, into the Mediterranean Sea, into the Atlantic Ocean, into the Gulf of Bothnia, Baltic Sea. Then you need to reach the Russia through the land route. But now, we are going directly into Persian Gulf. See the new route. From Persian Gulf, directly we are reaching here, like this one, through the train route. Here in between you can find the Caspian Sea. This is Azerbaijan, this is Kazakhstan, nothing but Central Asia. Which is the proper answer? It is India to Europe through Azerbaijan. Right? This is about the map based one. Again, the other question like of the two major ethanol producers, Brazil and United States, the former produces more ethanol than the latter. Which is the largest producer of ethanol in the world? USA is the largest producer, followed by the other countries like Brazil. But here the statement itself is Brazil is given the more importance than that of the USA. So the first statement is wrong. Out of the two major producers of the world, Brazil and United States of America, the farmer produces more ethanol. No, farmer means what? Brazil is producing more, but here USA is producing more ethanol. The statement one is wrong. Therefore, the answer should be D. What is the second one? Unlike the United States of America, where corn is the principal feedstock for ethanol, sugarcane is primarily the feed for the ethanol in Brazil. Remember this one. What are the important inputs for the ethanol production in USA? It is corn. Corn is extensively grown in the USA. Whereas in Brazil, it is the sugarcane. Sugarcane is the important product for the ethanol production in the Brazil. Corn is the important product for the ethanol production in the USA. Therefore, this statement is right, but the first statement is wrong. Right? Then after this one, let us move to the next one called as consider the following statement. This is with respect to what is called as international dateline. Right? What is this international dateline? Say for example, whenever you are talking about the earth as a globe like this one, suppose this is the earth, this is the earth, this is the international dateline. Imagine like this one. If you take a ball and the ball is being spinned, it will be keep on rotating. It is very difficult to count how many rounds the ball has taken unless until there is a mark, a benchmark or the line, indication is there. And that very indication line is called as international dateline. Whenever you are crossing right from here to here, suppose if it is Monday, the next day becomes Tuesday. Once he has taken a complete round, then the next day becomes Wednesday. Whenever it is Wednesday, what is here? Here it is Tuesday. Meaning what? As and when you are moving from the left to right, one day is increasing. Right? Now see this one. Siberia and Alaska. Where do you find Siberia and Alaska? This is Alaska. This is Siberia. In between, you can find the Bering Strait, international dateline, right? This is Alaska. This is, what is the name of that city? Forget about the name of the city. Take this as Siberia. This as Alaska, right? Nomi in Alaska, and in Alaska, A in Siberia. Whenever you are crossing like this one, what should happen? If it is Sunday, what should be the day here? Monday. One day is added, right? With this knowledge, you read this one. Siberia and Alaska are few kilometers from each other. Between when people are walking up and getting set for breakfast in these cities, it would be different days. Is it different days? Yes, it is different days. Whenever you are moving from here to here, it is a different day. What is the day here? Sunday. If it is Sunday, it will be Monday. If it is Monday, what should be the day here? It should be Tuesday, right? One day is ahead here. Then, when it is Monday in Siberia, whenever it is Monday in Siberia, it is what? Sunday in Nomi, but it is given as Tuesday, which is wrong. Therefore, only first statement is right. Is that clear? Whenever you are seeing the globe as a whole, you can understand. On one side, see, if you started right from here, after taking complete one turn, it will be called as one day, right? If it starts as Sunday, until you complete here, up to here, this is Sunday, but the moment once you move the other side, it will be Monday. Whenever it is Monday, what is the one which is there behind? It is still Sunday, right? This is what the one. Then after this one, the next one, the next one, consider the one. Don't make the earth to move. You remember, see here, if at all you are staying here like this one, say for example, do one thing. This is the international daytime, right? Let the earth be as it is, right? You start moving. Let you move. What is this day? Sunday. You are crossing a date line. When you cross the date line, you are taking a flight and you are moving. Whenever you are moving, what is this day? This is Monday, right? This is the one day ahead to this one. As and when the globe moves like this one, right? Whenever it is moving like this one, what happens? It will be one day when you start moving from one side of the international date line to the other side, then a day is added, right? This is the one. Then consider the following pairs: Morocco. No, it's not Morocco. Mallorca, Italy. Normandy, Spain, Sardinia. Where do you find all this and how many of the above rows is the given information is correctly matched? This is completely the map based. They are talking about some of the important cities that are located, and they are talking about the countries. In which country you can find Mallorca? Where is Normandy? Normandy is located in the France. Normandy of France. Sardinia of Italy. Normandy of France, Sardinia of Italy. Therefore, this is not correctly matched. This is not correctly matched. This is not correctly matched. Therefore, none of the above things are matched correctly. Is it Mallorca, Italy is matched? Normandy. Sardinia is definitely Italy, right? Normandy is of France. Mallorca should be of the Spain. Therefore, all the three are not matched perfectly. Right? These are some of the important questions that are given map based and the concept based. Then it is all about the explanation for the previous year's papers 24, 25 and 23. Right? What is the clue here is you need to practice. More you practice, you can see. Always you need to apply the concepts. As don't go according to whatever the answers that are given by any one of the institution. You apply your concept if you feel like, because the other question I have shown that where somewhere the UPSC has given the wrong answer, right? But whenever you are applying your concepts, don't believe the keys that are being given by someone, where always something can be wrong. When the UPSC key itself is wrong, may other key also be wrong, right? This is about all the question paper explanation with respect to the, what is the time? It's already 1:35, okay? About the analysis and what needs to be the predicted question, you need to see all these things, right? Thank you. See you in the next one. Until then, take care. Jai Hind.
disqualifying but absolutely crucial. No matter how well you perform in GS, if you don't clear CSAT, your prelims ends there. Every year, many capable aspirants fall short simply because they underestimated this paper. What's the way forward? Structured preparation, consistent practice, and the right guidance. Join the Vision IAS CSAT Classroom Program 2026 starting from 12th June at 11 a.m. What you'll get: complete coverage of quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and comprehension. Emphasis on speed, accuracy, and concept clarity. Regular practice with UPSC level questions. Personalized guidance and mentorship. Available in both offline, classroom, and live online modes. Whether you're a first-time aspirant or reappearing, don't let CSAT be the reason you fall short. CSAT is
UPSC
qualifying.
exam doesn't defeat you with difficulty. It defeats you with confusion, lack of clarity, lack of direction, and preparation that feels scattered. At Vision IAS Delhi, we rebuild your UPSC journey with structure, strategy, and support that doesn't waver. Get complete coverage of GS, CSAT, and essays step by step. PT 365 and Mains 365. So current affairs stop feeling like chaos. Personal mentorship, not just advice, but actual strategy guidance. Test feedback loops, because growth begins where guesswork ends. Toppers didn't just prepare, they built the right foundation. Now it's your turn. This isn't just a course, it's where clarity, consistency, and confidence begin.